get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I don't wanna be the lover in your arms. I don't wanna be the one to keep you from home. I don't wanna be the crooked person in your heart. I don't wanna stop, but I don't wanna stop. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. I don't wanna waste no more of your precious time. I don't wanna say that everything will be fine. I don't wanna feel your tears on my skin. I'm a coward, baby, don't let me in. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. So I don't wanna sit in and get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of war. There is no sickness, toil nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going. Oh, to see my brother. He said he'd meet me when I come. hush, little darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird. Say, darling, say. And if that mockingbird don't sing, I'm gonna buy you a diamond ring. Yes, and I know that diamond ring. Yes, I know that diamond ring is gonna shine. Darling, if you'll marry me, I'll buy you a house with a big oak tree. Say, darling, say, we'll live in the house with the big oak tree. 3 little babies on your knee. Yes, and I know that diamond ring. Yes, I know that diamond ring is gonna shine. So hush, little darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird.
Good day, this is Thumbs United. I'm late, really late. Again, this Linux box I'm building is the reason. It's just been a pill. I took a really old laptop hard drive and replaced the laptop hard drive with the hard drive that was in the PC. Because like every time it boot up with the other hard drive, it would crash, and it's just there'd be like a billion bad sectors, and then I'd fix the sectors, and then the next time I boot there'd be more sectors that were broken. So that was, a problem. So I'm just gonna throw the hard drive away, so it doesn't get confused with possibly being a good hard drive again. Because that's what happened. I thought, oh, here's a spare hard drive. Must be, must work. Nope, didn't work. So I put the laptop hard drive in, but it's extremely slow, which is why it was replaced. It was the original hard drive that came with my MacBook Pro in 2011. I'm gonna scoot these down. So I'm just getting ready to lock down the edit. And we're almost done. I just have to align these credit title sequences. So that's it. We're done. End of stream. Let's go home. Just kidding. Now I have to add the animation layer. We're going to do the animation for both of these during this stream. I'm really waiting for like 8 and 9 o'clock to start going out and gardening. It's like really hot and humid. I don't know what I just did. I hope it just misclicked. So the laptop hard drive is in, and it was giving me a little bit of problems, but not as many problems as the other hard drive. And when I first formatted the drive, I formatted it so that Linux would use the whole thing, but then I was kind of running into trouble booting. And so I partitioned, it's a 500 gigabyte drive, and so I partitioned 400 gigs to not be used. And so that just increases the odd that hopefully whatever bad sector is within that 400 gigabytes. And then I think it was the next 80 gigabytes I devoted to Linux, a Linux partition. And then the remaining 20 gigabytes I dedicated to swap space. And swap space is like the area of the hard drive where the operating system stores like paging files. It's kind of like virtual RAM. I mean, it is virtual RAM. So when the computer runs out of actual RAM, it will start writing some of the RAM data to the hard drive. And that's really helpful when you're doing renders and everything, and you have the render needs 16 gigabytes of RAM, but you only have 4 gigabytes of RAM. The downside of those virtual RAM or paging files is that it is exponentially slower than actual RAM. I mean, RAM operates at like the gigahertz range, and virtual RAM can maybe go max 10 megabits or 20 megabits a second based on your hard drive. So it's better for a solid state to a degree, but you don't want to use paging on a solid state hard drive, because solid state hard drives have a limit on how much data they can write. And once they reach that limit, they start failing. I kind of invested early on in getting a bunch of solid state hard drives, and they were like okay ones. They were by SanDisk, and they worked for about 7 months, and I used them as in Linux boxes, and they just rendered 24/7, and almost within the same month, the 7th month or so, they all failed. And so they'll work like halfway. You can reinstall Linux and everything, but then after a while, it's just once you install it, then they halfway work, and then like 70% of the time they'll boot, but then they'll end up crashing. So I don't recommend solid state hard drives, and it worries me that all these laptops have solid state hard drive like soldered in. It would be okay if the solid state hard drive was like removable, like you take the laptop, you take off the cover, and you can replace the solid state hard drive. But the majority of them, you can't do that. They're soldered onto the motherboard. So if the hard drive fails, the only thing you can do is buy a whole new computer. So that part is terrible. But it does help a little bit. I have a solid state hard drive in my oh my goodness, I'm yakking away and we didn't start our music. I have a solid state hard drive in my laptop, and that has extended the life exponentially. It's a 2011 laptop. It's running not the current version of OS X. It's the one before that. I have no reason to upgrade. And from what I hear, the upgrade really kind of horsed a lot of people with older laptops, which they usually do. And so it runs fine. Unlike my sister's laptop, which are all the same here. Like my sister's laptop, you can only run one program at a time, and it's just really bad. So I tell them to, get a solid state hard drive or install one for them. But the issue is that there are so many other problems with their laptop. Like one sister, her laptop screen was stepped on by our dog, and our dog is a Newfoundland, so it's a heavy dog, and cracked it, so only half the screen works. My other sister, the battery doesn't work correctly, and there was something else that I had an issue with. Oh, one of the RAM sticks doesn't work, RAM slots, and so she can only have a maximum of 4 gigs, which is not enough. So they just need new computers. But going back to this Linux box I'm building, it's a 3-core. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM. I've been, very scientifically tuning it up. I change one setting, then see if it worked better. Change it back, see if it worked worse. Change 2 settings, and then figure out which one. And so it was very, methodical. I wasn't just wildly changing things, and that's what took even longer. But I got the motherboard working correctly first, which was not easy to do. And then let's save. And then again, it was just all day yesterday working with the hard drive, then giving up, and today using the laptop hard drive. So I had to install Linux 3 times today. I tried using the old hard drive and it just didn't work, so I was like, okay, put the laptop hard drive in, and it didn't work the first 2 times. Something happened with the install, something with the graphics card. So I got it working now. I installed Ubuntu. I installed all the updates, and then I also installed all the developer libraries I need for my render engine to work, and other applications I wrote. And so it's like ready to go. I'm stress testing it right now. The other day, 2 days ago, I had it run some updates overnight. This was before it was really stable. And when I came down to my office, the BIOS had this warning on it, like your computer shut down because of a power surge. And you said check out your power supply. So right now, what I'm really doing is checking my power supply. I'm just having the computer run at idle, and hopefully it just stays on. It has no power surges. There was a reason why. Well, first let me say, this Linux box is built with all parts that were either broken or suspected to be broken, and so it's really a hodgepodge computer. And so that's why I had to do so much extra testing, because I had to make sure, okay, does this RAM stick work? No, it doesn't. Does it work in a different slot? No, it doesn't. Discard it. And things like that. And so this power supply, I was pretty sure didn't work, but it's been working pretty well, except for that one day when it had the surge problems. And so that's why I'm just testing it at idle, and then I'm going to give it some renders probably tomorrow. I'll have it idle all night to make sure the power supply works. When there was a surge, I did notice before I went to bed that the power supply was a little hot. I mean, like, it was hot enough to make me worry. And so I actually pointed a fan at it and just had the fan blowing on it with the case open. And so the whole day that I've been running the computer, I've been checking the power supply temperature, and it never did. It never got really hot, but I still don't trust it, if that makes sense. So it has to earn my trust, and I'm going to be checking it every couple of hours while it's running to make sure that it's not overheating or anything. And I did change some wiring around. I think it was having problems with the way it was connected to the motherboard. The motherboard was just drawing too much power, and which shouldn't be a problem. It's a 400 watt power supply. It has a mediocre graphics card hooked up to it, and then a small hard drive. But I think changing the wiring around really helped. So we're close to 8 minutes in. So that's like a quarter of the way. Well, closer to, that's like a third of the way with animating. I was originally going to do one episode of this 4K streaming the work behind, but I figured we can get them both done because I don't have to edit the coloring. So once we're done with animating, that's it. This thing is done. And then tonight I'm doing another stream late night stream starting between 10 and 11, and that includes the whole hour of 11. So if I don't start by 11 on the dot, I might start later than 11, and my schedule's kind of clear. So nothing bad should happen. I'm waiting till the sun starts setting to go work outside. It's been really hot all day, so I kind of didn't want to work outside. I'm doing like more manual work, kind of just pulling out weeds and everything, and so I don't want to fry and die in the sun. And then tomorrow I have to fix the weed whacker. The pull string to start it broke, and I was like, oh, I finally got it to the point of being so reliable. And the irony is the starter string probably broke because of all the times I had to pull it when it didn't work, and that's why it broke now. But it should be easy. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of like screws I have to take apart to access that part, but it should be relatively easy. It's not like fixing the engine or anything. And if these look out of focus, they're not. It's just I'm working at this at a lower resolution. It's only 10% of 4K. I'll show you what 100% looks like. So this is the image, so it is really clear. But I just work at 10% because it's easier on the computer. It's easy to stream, and it just speeds up the process. You don't want to animate with a lot of lag, because then you start making mistakes. And each image they're all uniform. They're all 40 seconds. Not 40 seconds. I'm sorry, that's the VR. They're all 25 seconds. So even these like more extreme animations are actually quite gentle and slow when I do more zooming in. I can zoom in further with the 4K, not just because it's higher resolution, but also because it's not in 3D. 3D, you're really limited with how far you can zoom in before it starts to get hard on the eyes, and then you start getting... If you zoom in too far, it's like you're starting to go cross-eyed. That's the effect that happens. So you can only zoom in a little bit. My dog just came to visit me. She's hanging out with me in the basement because it's cooler. Whoa! Okay, I'll be right back. I'm back. My dog just wanted to say hello. I was like, you have to go to the restroom? So I went and opened the door for her. And she was like, no way. I don't want to go outside. So I was like, oh, I misread what you were trying to tell me. She just wanted to come and give me a kiss. This dog is really like heavy on her kisses. She will like almost lick your face off. So when she starts kissing, she starts to get even more excited, and then she just slimes you. When she's a Newfoundland, so that they slop her as much, or if not more, as than a Saint Bernard, which are like known for their slobber. So we're over halfway done with this. Both these episodes are pretty close to being exactly 20 minutes. And these are easy animations. It takes a little longer because the camera shoots in 2:3, which is this ratio. And then where these dotted lines are, that's actually 16:9, so that's the project resolution. And so I always have to animate. Well, I have to kind of reframe the image first. So that part is a little slower. But I leave it in 2:3 because it gives me more space to animate. I can go further up or down. Like I can go way up there, way down there. If I cropped everything to 16:9 before I animate, then I'd have less choices during the animation process. Like if I crop this to 16:9, I'd only have it up to there. But with this, I can zoom in way like that. And then I can start at the bottom and go all the way up. Like that. Go up to about there. And I really like just zooming straight in, because you really get to, you see the whole image, and then it's kind of like you get to focus, but then the details get larger and more noticeable throughout, and I find it's just a more gentler motion, and there's no like surprises. So that's why 90% of my images are, my animation is zooming in. But since I said I'm zooming in so much, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm just going to do a kind of pan and tilt. So we're going to go from that one to this one, way over here, and a little bit of zoom out. That's what that looks like. I'm going to start lower, and we're going to raise it up, raise up and zoom in. Now what this will do is it's more of a reveal, so it kind of reveals that flower and then goes into detail. So we're about 3/4 of the way done with this one, which is pretty good. I've only been streaming for about an hour, and 20 minutes of that hour was the pre-stream. So it's like 30 minutes, 30 or 40 minutes. And now would be a good time to save. I'm gonna have to, while we're switching projects, I have to take a short break. It'll be like 5 or 10 minutes. Probably like 7 minutes. I guess today is National Ice Cream Day. And my mom's texting me that the Cold Stone and the next city over is closed permanently. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, okay, I know. This image was confusing. I'm gonna start at the bottom and go all the way up. We have her bonsais. And this one we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're going to go up and zoom in. And this one we're gonna do the opposite. And then this one we're gonna go back to just zooming in. And this can't be automated. Really, you need a user, a digital artist or animator to do this, because every photo is different, every focal point is different. So it would just be a waste of time to have an automated script to do this, because then you'd have to do the work over again. Okay, I'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. I have to go fix something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We have to. This is the second project. It's just called Botanical. It's more flower based and greenhouse. We start off with the forest, and then we go to the indoor greenhouses, and then we go back to the flower gardens outdoors. So it goes outdoors, indoors, outdoors. I had a huge scare. I went to open the project that we edited last night, because I had to split it into these second projects, these two. And what I did last night is I organized everything by subject, but all in one project. So everything from the last episode was also in this. And so I just split them up and separated the images. So we did all that work last night. It was about 2 hour and 20 minutes. And then this morning I get down, I open up the project, and none of it is organized. There was nothing saved. So I was like, oh no. And so I was like, where did it go? Did I save it to a different location or something? And so luckily I went and I checked. And so what happened was I didn't save it last night, but I did leave it open. And so when I double clicked on opening the file, it just opened Blender and another instance of Blender. So I closed the new instance and I saved the changes, and then I relaunched Blender, and luckily it was there. So that was like, oh, thank goodness. I got really lucky. So that's all we had to do to really lock the edit. Now we just add the animation layer, and this should take like another maybe 30 minutes or so. Shouldn't take that long. Let's say 40 minutes. And then that will conclude this afternoon stream, and I will be back online later today, sometime between 10 and 11 p.m. And we're going to go back to working on the New York project, because there is so much we have to do with that. I was kind of trying to figure out how long I'll be doing the post-production on the New York project, and I honestly think we will not be finished till like the end of September with how much work has to go into it. And I don't even want to think about how much time it's going to take to render. And that's kind of why we're doing this Project Park first, so we can start getting that out the door. It will come to Patreon first, and then trickle out to the YouTube channel and the website. And the website's just flotations.com. What helps speed up this process is I don't have to do the color grade. All the colors are final. I edited them in Lightroom. Save. I just couldn't believe I didn't save it that other time. So now we get to animating. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to keyframe ahead of time, and hopefully that speeds up the process, because half the time is just doing this, and this is where I make a lot of the mistakes. You know what? This is taking too long. I'll just do it as I go. It was a nice thought. these are 20 megapixel files, so you can zoom in quite a lot. This is usually the opposite of what I want to do, but that's a photo that looks better when it's revealed. So we're only 2 minutes in. This is the area in the forest. So now we switch to this indoor solarium. And solariums have this special glass. Most glass naturally blocks UV lights, which is what you need if you're growing a garden. And the solarium glass or greenhouse glass will let through UV light. It has to be made in a certain way that it allows the UV light to pass through. So we're about a quarter of the way done. So we might be done with this in like, what is the word? In 20 minutes or so from now. So it might take us 30 minutes total. I'm making less mistakes right now. These are one of those carnivorous plants. The bug goes in here and then gets stuck at the bottom, and down there it has like stomach acids, and the bugs get dissolved, get eaten alive. So we're past the halfway point, which will be a very good time to save. And these, we're still in a greenhouse, but it's a higher roof. It's not as self-contained. I mean, it is self-contained, but it's more open space. It's a much larger building. And now we're back outside. And this is at sunset. So we're about 3/4 of the way done. And there's been very little mistakes. I think I'm getting pretty efficient at this. Watch, I'm gonna make like 1,000 mistakes now that I just said that. I told you guys, starting to make mistakes. Luckily not big ones. So we only have, yeah, we're really close to being done. Okay, last one. And I lied, I thought it was going to take us 20 minutes from when I said. It only took us like 14 minutes. So that's it. We're done with the editing for Project Park. So what happens next is I do the test renders, make sure all the animation is good and everything, and then I'm going to go through and write the scripts for all of this. There's about 11 episodes, each about 20 minutes, so that's like 3,000 words I have to write per episode, because 150 words is a minute of dialogue when read out loud. And so I have to do that. And so pretty much what's going to be happening for the rest of the month, I'm still going to be doing the creative streams. But offline I have to start writing like crazy, because I have to write for Live to Tape. I have to write the script for Project Newfoundland. And then I have to do, like I said, all 11 episodes of Project Park. But Project Park should start releasing to Patreon this month. Probably the 3D versions are going to be coming first. And then the VR and 4K. I haven't decided which is coming first, the 4K or the VR. And yeah, so this is kind of, the editing's done. You just have to write and do the voiceover, but I won't be streaming that. You don't need to hear me fumbling my words and doing multiple takes. It would be funny, but that's not going to happen. So thank you everyone for coming in. I'm streaming again today at sometime between 10 and 11. Let's say 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, that's today. And we're going to be going back and picking up where we left off on the New York project, which is editing and grouping the photographs of 4K video. It's actually 2.7K and 4K video, but most of it has been collected into subjects and grouped by similar location. So we're just going to go through and continue that process of sorting it and everything, and trying to get a locked edit for the 4K. And then after that, once we finish doing that for the 4K in the New York project, we're going to be going through and locking down the edit of 4K, and then we're going to be doing the 3D stuff after that. So like I said, the New York project is going to be a really long editing process. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't finish editing everything till the end of September. So it's going to be a solid 2.5 months of editing, and it's going to be like this, editing on the weekends, during the week, and all that stuff. I record video games live on Tuesdays, and then I rebroadcast them on Thursdays. And then I do creative streams Wednesdays and Fridays, and when I have free time and need a lot more work done creatively, I will stream on the weekends and Monday. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see everyone tonight. Bye bye.